I just bought a new automobile the same way they did in the 1900s when movies were silent.
Wow. Well, I just got this Jeep from FlexCar.
All my smackaroos go to paying off the hefty value this little gas buggy lost the second I chugged out of the dealership. Toot toot.
Okay, well, FlexCar includes maintenance and insurance, and I can switch to an F-150 or Mercedes anytime.
What are you, high on giggle juice? Buying a car is supposed to be the bum deal you pretend is the bison's berries.
I have no idea what you're saying. The first and only month-to-month car lease. FlexCar, you drive everything.
Yo, here we go. Another episode of the Keith McPherson Show. And this is the intro. There's so much to talk about, and I'm so used to doing 5-hour radio shows, 3-hour radio shows, solo shows, that when I put together my notes, I'm putting them together to have long-winded conversations, but we got to pare these down. Shout out to everybody that's downloading the podcast, watching the podcast. Man, I've got good news coming, and I'm just going to continue to refine this thing and get reps and just crank out as many of these as we can to get reps and just connect with you guys. Like, I'm not worried about the views or the numbers as I see people popping up now. Thank you guys for watching. The views are skewed. Shout out to Ray first in the chat. What up, Ray? Like, I'll go live and I'll see the number here, and then it's different on YouTube. I've also been playing around with some things. I've gone live on LinkedIn. I've gone live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all at the same time. Eventually, this is going to have a home that it goes out on, and most likely it will only be available on YouTube at some point. Shout out to Kevin in here as well. So, without further ado here in this intro, here's what we're going to talk about. That's more housekeeping stuff. We're going to hit the Yankees right away. This is a Yankees podcast. You see the background. This is going to be a Yankees podcast anytime that I'm on it because I'm a Yankee fan. But there are some other things to talk about in Major League Baseball, some MLB news, and just we'll take a check-in, a little quick look at where we are in Major League Baseball as we're through another week here. It's like 6 weeks left to go in the season. We will also hit on the NFL, the preseason, week 1 of the preseason. It's like actual, multiple teams playing real tangible stuff for us to go off of. And we'll talk about the news and things that have come out there. And then quick, fast, in a hurry, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go pick up my son. So with that being said, let's speed it up here. The Keith McPherson Show, episode 9, like Joe Burrow, who played in the preseason last night. Hit it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are inside of episode 9. We're going to start with the New York Yankees. Another series win. But I know some of you aren't satisfied with that. That's okay. I'll break it down for you. Let's get right into it with the Yankees beating the Mariners. I was at the game yesterday. That was annoying. It was super hot. We just sat out there and burnt and fried and baked. They scored 1 run and beat us. We got beat by a solo shot. Max Fried does his thing, but you tip your cap to the M's. They hadn't won since August 2nd, and a solo shot's enough to beat this Yankees offense that literally does nothing, nada. But let's go back, right? They've been shut out a few times this year. I think I saw they've been shut out and lost 4 or 5 times this year, like that. Whatever. We've seen that from the Yankees. 1 run can beat them. They can't score. You saw George Lombard in the 5 spot. Whatever. It didn't matter. They took the series. I'm not expecting them to sweep series because they're not a good enough team to sweep Major League Baseball teams, right? They're not a good enough team to sweep the Braves. They're not a good enough team to sweep the Mariners, but it was a good homestand. And let's go back a couple games to this game right here. This game right here for me. This was the one. Now, here's a question for you. You see Trent Grisham featured there as he was the big shot of the night there. When the Yankees do the the two-hand celebration, their extra base hit celebration when they get on second base, or do they do it, whatever. It might just be a hit celebration when they get on first, driving a run, whatever. But when the Yankees do this, are they on like scooters? Because they do like a push, like a roll. Or are they on their motorcycles? Like I made the joke on Twitter. I was like, the Yankees were on their little 4-year-old kick scooters like I see kids in Hoboken, Jersey City with. But now that they're hitting and now that they're winning a little bit, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Now we're on our bikes. So you see Trent Grisham here featured. I'm like, or is that a bench press? Because of the push motion, I'm like, are they benching? If so, I'll change my joke to they were benching 135. Now they're repping 225. Anyway, that game was so good because they overcame Will Warren. And here is Will Warren, who was visibly upset with Trent Grisham after that pop-up fell in between, where he was and George Lombard. Everything Yankees, shout out to them. They do great work, right? You would never see this from Garrett Cole, Max Fried, or Cam Schlittler. You would never see them act like this. Well, listen, they weren't rookies in that position or second-year players. Will Warren was a rookie last year. They're not a second-year player that's literally fighting for his spot in the rotation, fighting for his life, giving up home runs. Will Warren was frustrated. And not for nothing, it's out there. And it's not just out there. We all watch. The Yankees have the highest attendance and millions of people watching the games. Trent Grisham has been a step or two slow in center field. They were talking about on the ESPN broadcast that night about he's slow. And I say that to say this because he had to kind of bounce back and make up for it. He had to kind of bounce back and save the day. And he did that night. I mean, the guy was in the doghouse, and I think Wednesday I did my episode 8 of this show where I said he can't lead off anymore. And I even clipped it and I put it out there and I was cyberbullying him. I was attacking him. I was saying Trent Grisham can't be the leadoff hitter. He's not good at leading off. Why does he get the opportunity to lead off? And I said, I hope that this ages well. On Twitter, I said, I hope this ages terribly. And it did, because he did break out of his slump. He did get out of the doghouse a little bit. He's not the whipping boy anymore. He goes 3 for 5, scores 3 runs, has 4 RBI, and he had 2 home runs, one in the 5th inning, and then he had one in the 8th inning, and the Yankees rally back from being down, and it just kind of gives you some confidence. George Lombard helped spark the rally, and everybody got some that night. Ben Rice got some that night. Spencer Jones, man, I'm pleased with Spencer Jones, and we'll talk about him in a minute. Even Jazz got lucky, got a hit, run, RBI, worked a walk that night. But Jazz is in a bad one. We'll talk about him in a minute as well. Ryan McMahon with 2 hits. Wells with a hit. And then, like I said, Lombard sparked the rally. He's down there batting 9th. He had 2 hits, 2 runs. And can't say enough about how great that kid has been. I said on Wednesday's episode 8, do not move him in the lineup, at least not to make him lead off. But whatever. Just as soon as I say Trent Grisham is out of the doghouse, just as soon as I say Trent Grisham is no longer the whipping boy, he kind of went right back to form yesterday at the game. Here's this. Trent Grisham came off of the second base bag, and the tag was still applied. And, yeah, folks, there are now 2 outs with a runner on third base. That killed the rally. That killed what I feel like was our only shot yesterday. And as much as we killed Dominguez for not being able to slide, not knowing how to slide properly as a pro, Trent Grisham, you got to be able to slide. You got to be able to keep your foot down. When they reviewed that play, everybody was just like, oh, no way. I think at first in the stadium we thought he was out. And then after review, we realized they challenged it because it was safe, and then he popped up or whatever. But I'm saying this. After that, the Yankees really didn't have anything else. And Trent Grisham's got to be better. He's got to be more dialed in, focused, locked in. He's going to be there. He's going to be the guy. They're going to ride with Trent Grisham for the rest of this year. They gave him the qualifying offer. He's your center fielder. He's there. And now we know we have options, right? We know that this guy, as I said, we're going to talk about him. Spencer Jones is now being looked at potentially as the odd man out. And he's been good. He has been good being called up again. Was his second or third time being called up this year? He came up, went back down, came up, went back down. Like, Spencer Jones is being looked at as the odd man out. Shout out to Dugout Forever, who provides this graphic. When Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton return from injury, is Spencer Jones the odd man out? And then they have, Cody Bellinger will start, obviously, every day. Trent Grisham versus right-handed hitters. Heliot Ramos versus left-handed hitters. Aaron Judge, obviously, is going to play. But I don't know if he's going to play every day in right field. He might have to DH some. And then Giancarlo Stanton, DH. This is why I'm saying with Luis Garcia Jr. and Heliot Ramos as the two additions at the deadline, it's clunky. It kind of creates a traffic jam and some issues. But whatever, I guess they could be good issues to have because they're all hitters and you're going to need them to hit. But I would hate to see Spencer Jones be the odd man out. He's been solid, and he should be the center fielder because he's your center fielder of the future. He should be the center fielder because that is who you're going to be rocking with in the near future. Trent Grisham is done. He's gone, but it's like they want to squeeze that last bit out of Trent Grisham for the qualifying offer, and it is what it is. Now, saying that Trent Grisham is a lock to stay in there, I don't know that either, but it's like they're not going to cut him. But talking about Bellinger and Stanton and Judge coming back, right? Arguably the best outfield in baseball last year. Offensively, it was with Belly in left, Grish in center, Judge and right, and all the home runs that they had. Here is this now. I tried to put out my prediction for when guys would return. I had Cody Bellinger returning on his bobblehead night. I had Giancarlo Stanton returning the week after. And then I had Judge. I had Stanton back, Belly back for, let me make myself bigger again. Belly back for the 21st, which was his bobblehead night, kicking off the series against the Blue Jays. Stanton back the following series, same homestand, but after an off day to start that series against the Astros on the 25th. And then I said Judge September 8th, after September call-ups against the Rockies, hoping that Judge would get back with at least 3 weeks here, whatever it is, to ramp up and get going. But John Heyman put out a report that Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, they're both expected to return to the Yankees around September 1st. And so obviously with what I was just talking about with Spencer Jones, odd man out, rosters expand, and we're all kind of just like, okay, what exactly is going to happen here? And obviously my timeline was wishful thinking as a fan, hoping that it would work. But, help is on the way, and we need these guys. And I'll say this, when they might wait till rosters expand because the active roster has 26 players. September 1st, it goes to 28. You can carry 14 pitchers among those 28 players. We'll see what the Yankees choose to do. But when the rosters expand, that solves some of the problems about sending someone down. I would hate to see Spencer Jones get sent down to make room for, one of these guys when he's played so well and he's feeling like he's really a part of the team every single day. But those decisions will get made. There's a decision that has to be made on this guy right here. I'm sorry about it, bro. I root for this guy. I got to do a great interview with this guy on Complex. Shout to Complex. Did 50,000 views on that interview with Jazz. He was hooping for a little while. He won us some games. He won us that Dodgers game with the home run. But, man, he has been in a freaking bad one. Shout out to the Yankee Report. We have a ton of great Yankees pages that just come up with stats and posts, and they're anonymous accounts, but they're always cooking. The Yankee Report writes, Jazz Chisholm Jr. went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts today. Since June 1st, he's slashing 190, 276, 397, a 673 OPS, 11 home runs, 17 stolen bases, a 35.5% K rate. I think he's got 139 strikeouts right now. The Yankee Report writes he's 4 for 33 in August. That's a 121 batting average. I don't even know what to tell y'all about that. I don't even know what to say. That is so bad. This is a guy that talked about, I'm not even going to go through all the things that Jazz talked about because it doesn't matter. But the clock is ticking, and it's been a miserable season for him. And I feel for the guy. The reporters after the game yesterday where, he was the last out and he struck out, and I was in the bleachers and nobody had faith that he was going to do it. The reporters asked him about a platoon situation, right? The reporters asked him about being benched. He said, I don't think that would help. Of course not. Right? You're not going to say that that's going to help. You want to play and you want to break out of the slump, out of the funk. you're going to want to be in there, right? I don't know, man. I'm tired of it with Jazz because there is a little bit of veiled racism in the criticism of him as well. So when he doesn't do well, people want to attack the way he wears his hat, his swag, his cleats, his accents, the way he carries himself, what he does, and it smells. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, it smells like you don't like this guy for other reasons more than just him struggling and him failing. And he's such a talented athlete. He's so athletic. He's got a great swing. He's just not putting it all together. And he's not going to get that contract he was wishing for. He's probably done with the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are going to even give him a QO. There are a lot of Yankee fans that are saying they can't wait till he's done. Good riddance. And we need this guy because similar to Trent Grisham, the Yankees are going to ride this till the wheels fall off. Now, obviously, they could put Caballero in there in a platoon situation at second base, but Caballero's experience is its own frustrating experience as well. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. I see our Yankee fans popping up in the chat. What up, Dane? You're Yankee girl in here. What's up, Yankee girl? H&L Dre is in here. He ain't no Yankee fan, but he's a Keith McPherson supporter. The Pinstripe Bugle is in here. What's up, man? Hope all is well. All is great. Happy Friday. Let's keep it rolling. That's all I've got on the Yankees. The Yankees lineup is out. They will face the Toronto Blue Jays in the House of Horrors that is the Toronto Blue Jays, the Rogers Center. Trent Grisham is leading off, playing center field. Ben Rice is DHing, batting second. Spencer Jones is out in right field, batting third. Luis Garcia Jr. is at first base, batting cleanup. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is at second base, batting fifth. Heliot Ramos is in left field, batting sixth. Ryan McMahon is at third base, batting seventh. Austin Wells is doing the catching, batting eighth. And George Lombard Jr., the shortstop, the rookie, will be batting ninth. They will face off against Shane Bieber. They need this game right here because the Boston Red Sox are not completely dead. We did create some space on them. What a great week it was for the hate watch of the Boston Red Sox as the Yankees won some games and the Toronto Blue Jays did us a little bit of a favor. Shout out to them for that. We needed it because coming into this week, I know we were all kind of thinking like, oh, here they come. This is it. There were a lot of Yankee fans saying, oh, they're about to pass us. They're certainly about to pass us right now, and that didn't happen. Speaking of the Toronto Blue Jays, our friends from the North, I was on earlier with my guy Blake Murphy from Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Wild card. Like the Jays have had to ask the Yankees for help a little bit. The Yankees have had to ask the Jays for help a little bit. What's that been like? Kind of enemy of my enemy's my friend the last little bit.
Frenemies. I found myself locked in on Blue Jays games. We had Monday night off, so I'm watching that game with the scoreboard debacle, and I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, what's going to happen here? I've never seen this before. Yeah, we were pumped in New York to see you guys take that series, take those first two from the Boston Red Sox because we needed a little bit of room. We came into the weekend, this past weekend, and this week feeling like, yo, we're in danger. The Red Sox are gaining fast on us. They don't lose. They might pass us. And, it's just what the doctor ordered. We got the Oakland, Sacramento, soon-to-be Las Vegas A's to help us out. And then our friends from the North helped us out as well. So thank you for that.
So as we head into, the Jays are.
Okay, there's the clip from that. Shout out to, again, Sportsnet 590 up there in Toronto. I've been a consistent guest over there for a couple years now. And they shout out this show, the Keith McPherson Show. So let's keep it rolling. That's it on the Yankees. Again, the Yankees will line up Garrett Cole, Cam Schlittler, and Ryan Weathers. I believe the Blue Jays are TBD for tomorrow's game. It's Shane Bieber today, and then it's Dylan Cease versus Ryan Weathers on Sunday. Congratulations to Max Scherzer, who reached 3,000 career innings pitched. Like, he's been doing it a long time. Surefire Hall of Famer. He's had an incredible run. And speaking of an incredible run, as we shift to, more general MLB talk here, the Tampa Bay Rays are on an incredible run. It sucks. It's like every year, every other year, or every year that, like, we're thinking that the Yankees are going to have it, that it's going to be the Yankees division. Here come the Tampa Bay Rays to just get super hot, play their game, their style under Kevin Cash, and they're 74-46. And don't look now, they're up there at the top of the league. They've got the second best record in baseball right behind the Brewers. And I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know if we're catching them at this point. I will kind of go ahead and start to wave that white flag, just a little wave, just a little raise of a white flag, like you're bidding on an item, but you're not sure you want to put your bid in. We're 6.5 games back. They own the tiebreaker, and we have these 4 games in September. But like, are we going to be at full strength? And are we going to be able to, take 3 out of 4 from them? One of the days is a doubleheader with 2 games. I don't feel good about it. The way that they're hitting, the way that they're playing. The rich get richer, right? They go get Liam Hicks from the Miami Marlins, and of course he's hitting bombs for them. He's been great for them. And even the Red Sox. Peyton Toll dominated yesterday. He had 8 scoreless innings against Toronto to avoid the sweep. And when you look at the standings, we did create a little bit of room on them. We've got 3 games on them, but 3 games can be made up. 3 games can be made up, especially with the tiebreaker going to Boston. The Yankees got to continue to play up here, and Toronto has played better. Vladdy has had a miserable season. Vladdy, obviously, they lose the World Series, and he fully emptied the tank out. But I was saying to somebody yesterday, Vladdy lost the World Series and lost his best friend. He's been terrible this year for them. He's not been the guy that they paid $500 million to. But whatever. I don't want to say too much about that because then he'll end up homering last night. Mark my words now, he will probably homer tonight because I'm talking down on him. But yeah, last thing on the Yankees as well as, this is getting into baseball stuff. It's Friday Night Baseball tonight on Apple TV. You guys see that logo there. Friday Night Baseball, just so you're not looking for it on Yes. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. And we'll be I'll be watching it through my Fubo TV subscription. I'm pretty sure I get it there. I'm not paying Apple TV anymore. I had to do that a couple different times. I'm not beat for that. I am not beat for that. But let's keep rolling with the baseball news. Let's keep rolling with, speaking of teams cooling off, right? I said that the Red Sox had cooled off. So have the LA Dodgers. And first off, I want to say, scary moment, Freddie Freeman. I don't know if you guys saw Freddie Freeman's fall. You don't make a joke about this. You don't laugh about this. I know as Yankee fans, we're supposed to hate Freddie Freeman. But he's a really good guy. He's a really good player. I've always loved his game. I think he's one of the best hitters in the game, and his story is amazing. If you did not see this the other day, this was scary. He goes for a fly ball, and he falls into the dugout, and those guys are not ready to catch him in the Kansas City dugout, the visiting dugout, and he takes a fall, and he's just out with general soreness. And, the Dodgers right now, they're reeling a little bit. The Dodgers right now, they're trying to find it. And when you're supposed to be the almighty big bad Dodgers, people are wondering how you're going 4-6 in your last 10 and, how you're kind of faltering here. But I think one of the big reasons that we're seeing this week is this. I know you Mets fans are absolutely loving this hate watch. Edwin Diaz, the infamous cockfighter. Edwin Diaz. Those trumpets don't sound the same out in L.A. Edwin Diaz has blown 3 saves for the Dodgers in the last week, giving up a total of 6 runs in those outings. So, sorry about it. Guess it doesn't always work out. Guess you go pay him the most money ever paid to a reliever, and it doesn't always work out. Dave Roberts was asked about the team. He's saying they got to pick it up. We're a wild card team right now, all this stuff. And then also being asked about Edwin Diaz, he's saying, I need another option before I move on. So they're not just quitting on Edwin Diaz just yet. But shout out to the Met fans. I know that hate watch is going well for you. I will be back on WFAN Sunday We'll get into some other Mets topics. The hate watch of Pete Alonso's not going as well. But with that being said, let's break it down right here. Actually, no, let me hit you with a couple more things. That's all the stuff on the teams. As I'm scrolling my notes and mixing my WFAN notes and my Keith McPherson show notes, there are a couple things that I did want to hit on this show quickly before we get to about 30 minutes in. One, Field of Dreams. I don't care for the movie. The movie, to me, was boring. I tried to watch the first 15, 20 minutes of it. Just the way they were talking, how, like, people could see things and not just all, like, that threw me off. I have no suspension of disbelief. That's why I only watch sports. I can't watch movies. I can't watch reality TV shows. If it's not real, it doesn't keep my attention. Like, fictional stuff is not really, like, when I was a kid, yeah, I could watch Batman, I could watch X-Men, I could watch Power Rangers, I could watch Dragon Ball Z. But as an adult, ain't nobody got time for that. But what I'm saying is, ain't nobody got time for that. Field of Dreams, the movie, not for me. But Field of Dreams, the one-off game that they're playing, I watched that whole game yesterday. The juice balls were back. And before we saw the juice balls, this was a cool moment. And I like this type of stuff as a baseball fan. I like this type of stuff. You're not dreaming. More than 24 baseball immortals emerged from the cornfield before the Field of Dreams. Mike Schmidt, Cal Ripken, Jim Tomei. I just saw Raleigh Fingers was out there. And I was just with Raleigh Fingers not too long ago. There's Cal. And you know what? I loved it, man. I was with my son last night. My wife was at a work party. And you know how the whole premise of Field of Dreams is like, let's have a catch, let's play catch, whatever. I don't care how you say it. Have a catch, play a catch, whatever. But the whole premise is based on, you know, father and son stuff. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, but there's a big theme in there that, you know, father and son playing catch. Oh, and also shout out to Raleigh Fingers. Here's a picture of me with Raleigh Fingers and the legend Fergie Jenkins at the David Cohn Celebrity Softball outing. He was also featured in the Field of Dreams game coming out of the cornfields. I don't know if I even showed you guys that. I'm all over the place as per usual. So let me pull this down. People on the podcast can't see this. Sorry, podcast people. Subscribe to YouTube. See the green jersey right there? That's Raleigh Fingers right there. And he was great. Got to meet him at David Cohn's celebrity golf outing. Fred McGriff, Adrian Beltre. I thought this was sick. Man, I thought this was sick. It's like you got these guys who are, you know, icons, living legends. Raleigh Fingers with the mustache, with the handlebars curled. You know, I got my son in the bath. I got my son ready, and I sat him down. He has no clue. But, you know, for memories, I just took a little video. Me and my son, father and son, watching the Field of Dreams game. I hope that they do this for years to come. I hope that it's a one-off, that they get all of the teams to play in. The Phillies won. Kyle Schwarber hit 2 home runs, and the Phillies beat the Twins. Taj Bradley got rocked. And, yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a one-off thing. It's on Netflix. I thought it was cool. And, yeah, one more thing or 2 more things on MLB talk and MLB notes here. Boom. The All-Star Game. You guys know I love the All-Star Game. I try to go to as many of them as I can. I was just down there in Philly, and the next All-Star Game will be in Chicago. But the next 2 have been lined up. The All-Star Game returns to San Francisco in 2028. And then rumor has it, in 2029, they might go to Toronto. They might go to the Rogers Center. So I'll be up in Toronto. I'll be out in San Francisco. I'll be in Chicago. I'm blessed, man. I've gone to these All-Star games through work different ways. Like, I went to this last one, Mitchell and Ness. I do the TikTok live streams with Mitchell and Ness. I did a live stream live from the Mitchell & Ness flagship store. I knew I was going to go drive down to Philly and go to the All-Star game no matter what. Did I know I'd work for Mitchell & Ness and they'd pay for my travel and hotel accommodations and I'd work down there and get paid? No, I didn't know. I'm blessed. I was able to get in there. I went to the All-Star game in LA and I got tickets and credentials and things from MLB Network in 2022. I skipped over one. Seattle in 2023 with the Players Alliance. I got to go out there to Seattle. Flight, hotel, everything taken care of. Like amazing. John Boy Media. But John Boy Media didn't hook anything up when I went out there to Colorado. I think they had one home run derby ticket for me and I got the other one. But I did some John Boy Media stuff while I was out there with them. My wife and I stayed in our own hotel. We were coming fresh off of getting married. It was like a honeymoon. Some of you that listen to WFAN know that story. Like we flew out to Colorado the day after our wedding to go to that. What other ones did I go? 2014, I went to Minnesota on behalf of the MLB Fan Cave. So what I'm saying is I love the All-Star Game. I've been blessed to go to them, for work. And, speaking of work, shout out to Bruce. He says, Keith, nice to hear you always. Any fan time slots coming up? Yes. So Dre says, Sunday he's on. And shout out to Dre. I will be on the next 2 Sundays. I've kind of got that Sunday sauce dripping. I've got that Sunday sauce pouring up, saucing them up on Sundays after the Yankee coverage. I think it's going to be 4 or 5 Sundays in a row, probably leading us into week 1 where the NFL will start. So speaking of blessings, it's a blessing to still be on WFAN and still doing shows. Also a heads up for my night owls. We will get in a Wednesday night show. This upcoming Wednesday, we'll do a traditional.
It's KM to AM.
We'll do a traditional KM to AM on Wednesday night. So be on the lookout for that. And last but not least, from this MLB talk and MLB news here, on a little bit of a negative note, owner proposals. As I'm saying, baseball is in a good place with Field of Dreams, the All-Star Game. The tickets were crazy for the Derby, the All-Star Game. There was people everywhere. I loved it. Baseball is in a good spot. The owners proposed a salary cap of $245.3 million. I need a laugh track. I need a aha, aha. What? MLB could be heading towards one of the biggest changes in league history. Shout out to JS9 Innings for this graphic. They do great work. The owners are proposing a $245.3 million salary cap and a $171.2 million payroll floor. The players are not going to go for a salary cap. Maybe they go for the floor. And it's time for us to go to some NFL talk. So let's take a quick little break here. And then when we come back, we'll talk about some football.
It's the Keith McPherson Show.
The NFL is back. Let's hit some NFL talk. I love football. If you don't know that by now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to me. But the NFL is back, and we're going to hit some preseason conversation and some news right now. Last call for anything in the chat, as I will wrap this up in 12 minutes. We're hitting the 45 mark exactly on these shows now. Let's get to, let's see where I want to go first. Okay, let's just go with the preseason stuff. Let's go with the preseason stuff first. Then we'll hit some of the news, because I know you want to talk about real football and not some of this other stuff. So here is a great post from Bleacher Report. Shout out to Bleacher Report. I just remembered the other day, I used to work for Bleacher Report too. I was doing these streams for Bleacher Report back in like 2023 pretty consistently. So Bleacher Report Gridiron put out this graphic with Drew Aller. And a tweet from Michael Alcantara says, I will not overreact to preseason. I will not overreact to a preseason game. I will not overreact to a preseason game. Go ahead and overreact. Let's talk about it. Drew Aller in the preseason debut for the Sixburg, Mike McCarthy-led Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Packers, their former team of Aaron Rodgers, former team of Mike McCarthy. He goes 10 for 13, 154 yards with 3 total TDs. He looked good. Fernando Mendoza goes 10 for 16, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. He also looked good. He was dialing it up. The boy looked good out there. Jeremiah Love, you draft a running back 3 overall, you pay him all that guaranteed money. You better hand him the ball. Let that young man go. 14 touches, 73 total yards. They said he was looking like Saquon out there. Here's a surprise, but not really. This kid out of Arkansas, Mike Washington versus the Cardinals. 6 carries, 63 yards. He was in there like boop, boop. Broke a nice little run. Caden Wetchen, 2 receptions, 79 yards, 1 touchdown. Big play. Dejon Stribling versus the Titans. 7 catches, 63 yards for a team in the 49ers that they're looking for receivers. My takes from this, why was everybody so surprised that Fernando Mendoza looked good? I was seeing a lot of discourse about Fernando Mendoza, and I'm like, oh, you mean the Heisman winner? You mean the undefeated national championship winner that did it at Indiana, that transferred from Cal, played big time football at 2 schools? Oh, the number 1 overall pick? You're surprised that kid looks good? You're surprised that kid went out there and balled? The same kid that didn't go to the White House because he said that, he was focusing on football? There might have been other reasons, but he was locked in because he's practicing. I think Mendoza is going to play a bunch of games this year. Captain Kirk, we'll see how long he holds up. I think he's going to play a bunch of games this year. And my other takeaway was with Drew Aller and also with Fernando Mendoza, I used to be on tankathon.com all the time on air on WFAN. And there were people thinking that with the number 3 pick, the Giants could get Drew Aller instead of his Penn State teammate, Abdul Carter. Drew Aller was the guy before Mendoza rose up. You know what I'm saying? Like projections, if Drew Aller stayed healthy in Penn State, let's say Penn State was the team to come out of the Big Ten and go win the national championship, Drew Aller was looked at as that quarterback, as that guy that was going to come out. And I still think he could be a great quarterback in the NFL. Why not? And that'll be a great pickup for the Steelers there. So, yeah, shout out to, all the guys. There's overreaction. As I see, Dre said that Kenny Pickett comment. Let me go back to sharing that because I saw that Kenny Pickett comment too. And if you know anything about me, Kenny Pickett and I went to the same high school. I coached the kid up for a camp when he was 11, and I'll always support the guy. Kenny, get your paper, player. There's a lot of money you can get as a backup. So in regards to Drew Aller, the first comment under House of Highlights says Kenny Pickett went 4-0 with like no incompletions a few years ago. Don't overreact. And so what I will say as well is take it with a grain of salt. In these early preseason games, or these preseason games in general, they're playing against fringe NFL guys. They're playing against other rookies. They're playing against guys that are going to get cut. They're playing against guys that are not going to be playing week 1 through week 17. We know that. But on the converse, if you go out there and you look like Will Levis looked like last night after saying, I don't think there's 32 quarterbacks better than me, well, you got everybody looking at you like, your career's over. What's this guy talking about? There's probably 64 quarterbacks better than you. Speaking of that, let's not overreact to what we saw out of Cam Ward. Let's not overreact. I think Cam Ward's going to have a great year. I am really excited tonight to lock in, and once I get my son to bed, we're going to lock in, probably on Fubo TV, because I'll be able to put multiple games on multiple screens, free advertisement for Fubo forever. I used to work there. You saw the games last night. Here are the games tonight as I'm sharing this. While the Yankees are playing, here come the Jets. Jets, Jets. So you'll get Broncos, Falcons, Buccaneers, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders tonight. And I'm sure the local channel is going to have Buccaneers, Jets. I'm going to be trying to see David Bailey. I'm going to try to see whoever they're playing. Are they going to play Geno tonight? Whoever they play tonight, we'll see. And then on the next show I do Monday, and when I'm on WFAN on Sunday, we'll talk about what we saw with the Jets. I'm going to take notes. That's what I do. I'm going to write some stuff down. I'm going to take notes. And then in the same place, JetLife Stadium will flip to blue, and you will see the Vikings face off against your New York Football Giants. Is Jackson Dart going to play? Let's look out for Arvell Reese. And you know who is going to play in this game for your New York Football Giants, and I expect him to get a good ovation and a good applause from the hometown faithful. Well, our hometown, not his, but he's coming back home. I'm coming home. It's Odell Beckham. Tell the world I'm coming home. Pat Leonard reports that John Harbaugh says Odell Beckham Jr. will play Saturday. For the first time since 2018, he's going to suit up and play for the New York Giants, and I just think that's going to be gas. I just think that the fans are going to be hyped up just to see him. Shout out to OBJ, man. I hope he makes a play, man. I hope he has a day, man. I'm not hating on him. Man, I remember I was in like Jersey Gardens back in like 2015 when it was that game, Giants versus the Panthers. That was like Odell versus Josh Norman game. Odell is not that player anymore, but I just love a good story like that, a full circle moment like that. I wish him well. I hope he does well out there, and we'll see what the Giants do. Now, here's something that the Giants did not do. The Giants worked out Terrion Arnold, but they did not sign him. As you see, Adam Schefter reports former Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold plans to sign with the Seattle Seahawks. Arnold also had visited the Texans, Saints, and Giants. The NFL must decide whether to put Arnold on the, if he'll be on the suspended list or whatever. But I don't think he will be. He's connected to all of these things that went down, but I'm sure he's got a hungry lawyer that'll beat the case. And my take, I had a couple takes. My first take was the Giants should absolutely sign him. This is a kid out of Alabama. This is a young kid. It's a first-round draft pick. He's played 2 years in the league. Did he make some mistakes? Did he probably run with some of the wrong people? Yeah. I love his podcast, Closed on Sundays, with Pat Surtain. I feel like he's got a lot of ball knowledge, a lot of athleticism. I felt like the Giants should sign him. Now, of course, everybody's going to say, Keith, they can't sign him. He's got felony charges. Yeah, a lot of these guys have felony charges, and they end up beating them. A lot of these guys have done worse. And like speaking of worse, the last NFL news piece I'm going to show you is about something worse, in my opinion. Terrion Arnold is connected to these guys that kidnapped somebody, that beat somebody up, that robbed somebody, and it's in connection to an Airbnb that he owned, whatever. It was something that went on down there in Tampa. From what I heard about this kid on Hard Knocks, he just had a child, and he's looking to lock in on football. Seattle, they sign him. He goes out to the Pacific Northwest. There's nothing out there to do but football. And if the Seattle Seahawks, the reigning champs, and I love how they set up, it was like a teaser. Episode 2 of Hard Knocks, if you guys are watching Hard Knocks, ends with Terrion Arnold warming up and practicing and basically, trying out for the team, getting a workout in. Episode 3 is going to be them signing him and them telling the world why they're signing him, them telling the world what they know about this investigation and taking a chance on him and why taking a risk on a player like this makes sense to them. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be cleared. There's no messages connecting him. Supposedly there's no text messages, no calls connecting him to what went on. So they're going to end up ruling that these people acted independently. He's going to probably get off scotch-free, whatever. Now, this guy, not the same. James Pierce Jr. suspended 8 games. And James Pierce Jr., he had that falling out with his former girlfriend. He had an arrest where it was domestic violence with his ex-girlfriend, and she is a WNBA player, Rakia Jackson. Just to add another log on the fire of the nonsense that is the WNBA. But, yeah, James Pierce Jr., he suspended 8 games. 8 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. So, sorry about it, bro. But he was wilding. And, like, the videos, did you see the videos with him? He was acting crazy. I don't know what he thought was going to happen there, buddy. I don't know what he thought was going to happen there, but 8 games in your young NFL career, it's hard to come back from that. Last but not least, as we're approaching 45 minutes, boom. I was looking for this article. I was looking for this news break, but I guess it's not there yet. The Chicago Bears say Indiana is their sole focus for their $5 billion dome stadium. Illinois leaders still see an opening since Indiana hasn't finalized a deal. But the Bears are trying to get this deal passed. The Chicago Bears, as a franchise, are saying they will not change their name if they build the stadium across state lines. We will be the Chicago Bears, whether we're in Arlington or whether we're in Hammond. The state of Indiana and their decision maker said, we want in on the name. They're not going to be able to do it. New Jersey wasn't able to do it with the Jets or Giants, and that'll do it for me, folks. Another quick episode of the Keith McPherson Show. We're starting to get a hang of these. We're starting to pare these down, the timing and all of that. So that's all I've got. Let me hit the chat real quick now that we're at the 45-minute mark, and we will wrap. Nancy says, yesterday the Yankees were defeated by Weston Wilson of the Seattle Mariners. Even Seattle Mariners fans have no idea who he is or how he ended up in the lineup, but they're grateful for him. Yep, solo shot beats us. That's all it is. Bruce says, a $245 million cap? Never. Never. Not with where we're going. Kevin says he's locked on the Jets tonight. Good. Jet up and feel good about the team. Big ships turn slow. I think you're going to notice a turn here. Ray says, people overreact way too much that the Yankee game is on Apple TV. When do people not overreact to anything with the Yankees? You know? That's all I've got, folks. Appreciate y'all. Hit like on YouTube. Again, like I said, the views are skewed. Right now, it says there's 139 views between Twitter, 140 between Twitter and YouTube. And I don't know what happens. I went live on LinkedIn, whatever. I'm not counting the views. The number does not matter. But when I end up going back to YouTube today, it said it had like 86 views. I'm like, that's cap. It's making me look like I got zero motion. I got 3,800 subscribers, but I got no views. Whatever. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. We got a fix for that coming soon. So stay blessed, stay up, and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. I'm out.
At FlexCar, we know podcast ads are annoying, but not as annoying as car salesmen.
Sign here, please.
Never talk to one again with FlexCar, the first and only month-to-month car lease.
No! Submit to my extortion machine.
Insurance and maintenance included. Switch cars anytime.
Switching Bronco to Camry to tell you ride willy-nilly? Oh, no.
Oh, yes. FlexCar. You drive everything.